This week's episode of Picard was almost a nice break after the first 5. It was more story than on-the-run freak-out with no way to escape. Jack, of course, got some bad news that explains his hallucinations with zero changeling implications, it seems. And the Titan was on the run, but the buoys were helping out as the crew planned and stayed just out of reach of the Federation ships. Vadic and the Shrike gave chase as well, just to keep that already established story going. It was almost soothing, and really, the edge of my seat needed a break. But that doesn't mean the episode was boring or uninteresting. In fact, it had several eye-opening, cute, funny, powerful, and cliche moments throughout. And a more easygoing episode doesn't mean there were not great scenes worth a second look. For example, the exchanges in the transporter room were fantastic. Old friends and sour mead, chat of old lovers, Worf attempting deceit, which is not easy for the honorable one. It was a quick catch-up between friends, and much like the rest of the episode, was fast-paced as it got the story going. Hi and welcome back to Katie's Corner in Space and this week's standout scenes for Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6, The Bounty.
Right, the whole whale thing.
Yep, that's the one. And the use of the cloak was another thing I was not expecting, so good on you, great Star Trek deity. But even better, Geordi is back. Though this transporter room reunion was less cheery, and oh wow, not only do we have one of the greats in Starfleet engineering.
As a former engineer, I wanted to say what an honor it is to have you on board.
But a whole new fun family dynamic with the obvious rift between Sydney and her dad. Just as the Picard Crusher family drama settles and Riker and Deanna are chatting, we get a whole other mess of fun with the La Forges. And really, the fact engineer Alondra got along fine with Geordi while pilot Sydney had issues was a little cliche, as was the little moment as they make repairs to Data together, but I did enjoy it as well as the fatherly warning to Jack.
And you, stay away from my daughter.
But it seems Geordi felt the use of the fleet for Frontier Day would be a bad idea, even without the changeling element. And while it's nice to see Dad Geordi, it was hard to see him turn down Picard and need a reminder of what Sydney's crew meant to her. But he needed no reminder of what family meant, and when the Titan suddenly began to cloak, his mind got changed very quickly. I did love the exchange between he and Picard, as Picard states in one short conversation that not only doesn't he know what's happening, but that Starfleet will just have to add the charge to the list already accumulated. Ever the captain, taking responsibility for those under him.
Well, I guess they'll just have to add it to my tab.
But the use of a cloak, well, that's just not something you see in Starfleet too often, and it was all worth it to reunite Geordi with Data, even if, like Ro, it was brief as other personalities popped in. Speaking of Data, or Data-ish, Daystrom. And now we get some good clues, yeah? These scenes were so full of Easter eggs, I felt like I should have brought a basket. And watching Riker get annoyed at Worf was cute, but I want to focus on a moment on the on-point design of the station. I know we got a peek last week, but it's a real piece of art from the outside and a nice maze of artifacts inside. But of course the highlight was the Data of it all. We all pretty much guessed this was when lore would be introduced, but the heavy Data vibe was a bit confusing, and Moriarty popping up to cause problems in holographic form was just another clue to the real treat. Brent in yet another incarnation of a creation by Soong, M510. A try-to mashup of all the Soong generational creations, including Data's wall. Alton Soong left a little speech and a present in the form of one last incomplete project. This one with multiple personality disorder. Good thing they have Geordi now, eh? Before Data reveals Jean-Luc's remains were the weapon taken, the conversation was both joyful and confusing. Let's hope for the successful integration at some point, because I'm not at all sure how much help he will be, though I'm also unsure how dangerous a broken lore would be either. Probably more dangerous than one in working order. Alrighty, we've gotten to the part of the show where I announced last week's winner of this channel's swag. And according to my trusty random winner chooser, D Vining UK is our winner. So, congratulations. And now on to the honorable mention of the week. And because I just love a look back and am anxious to see where she goes next, I'm going to choose Jack naming ships with 7. That scene was simple but great, especially the nod to Voyager as 7 talks about her rebirth and her family. I do hope she finds that connection again, though with Shaw's dislike of the Borg and what still feels like disrespect on his part towards her, it could be almost as difficult as becoming an individual was for her on Voyager. Now, when all is said and done this week, I just have so many questions. Did the Federation cause the changeling mutation with the changeling virus and cure? How is Picard's body a weapon? As Ironic syndrome is being brought up, could this weapon have to do with Picard's disease? Could that be why they have an interest in Jack as well? And are Jack's visions all really just a part of his illness? That seems questionable in my opinion. Honestly, I'm questioning so much at this point, I'm not sure if getting Geordi or Data helped much. But at least we have the band back together. Oh, except Riker, who is now trapped on board the Shrike with Faddick and possibly Deanna. Probably. Because, changelings. This week's was a good episode and included a lot less anxiety than the first 5 of the season. This episode had more of an old TNG episode feel, not just because Worf and Geordi came aboard, but because they were solving an issue and actually had a tangible result in the end that may help. They wanted to go to Daystrom, they wanted to retrieve information, and well, they did get data, sort of. So mission complete. Minus 1 crew member. Oh, it's going to get even messier from here. With more players and a furthering of the mystery of this all-powerful weapon, how could it not? But I'm here for whatever answers might lie ahead. So until next week, please enjoy one of these videos, and I will see you there.